Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A video. This will be the first for this week, leading up to Fear the Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 5, which is called Cobalt, as well as we're going to be talking about, kind of at this point in the series, I think it's kind of safe to say that the original Walking Dead is quite a bit better than Fear the Walking Dead. I wanted to bring that up as the first kind of part of this because this is something I've seen in quite a few comments after episode 3. I think most people liked quite a bit, but episode 4, I gave it an 8. Some people probably think that's too high because a lot of people just weren't satisfied with it. I think it was a well done episode, but the thing is, with 6 episodes, you really have to just bring it, man. Like 6 episodes, you have to just give us something amazing, give us something iconic, something crazy. Like, for example, in the original Walking Dead, where you have Rick on horseback, where he's riding in on the highway into Atlanta. Just something like, just epic like that, in the first season, and maybe a big, huge horde of zombies, or just something really, really big, some big character deaths, and just some crazy stuff happening, which the original Walking Dead did very, very well. And I actually like the addition of the CDC at the end of the first season of The Walking Dead, whereas with Fear the Walking Dead, we're kind of seeing something, I don't want to say similar, but we're seeing the military come in, and we're seeing the show shift gears away from that original kind of zombie apocalypse outbreak with a sort of time skip in that. And I don't know, it's just a lot different from what I was expecting. But I've seen quite a few comments of people disappointed, that kind of thing. And it's all about your expectations. And I talked about this a little bit in the video that I did for somebody there who was talking about happiness and how to be happy. And one of them is, and I see this all the time, not just with TV shows or movies or things like that. You can apply this to almost anything in life. A lot of times when somebody ends up being disappointed, it's because they went in with expectations that were too high to begin with. And with the original Walking Dead and with Fear the Walking Dead, to expect Fear the Walking Dead to be as good as the original Walking Dead, that expectation, that's a pretty tall order. That's a pretty tall expectation, because if you look at the original Walking Dead, or shows like Game of Thrones and kind of these huge hit shows, Breaking Bad, if you look at kind of any other show that starts off, there's very few that are able to kind of be that kind of quality. It's kind of a top level league, I think, in terms of shows, and Fear the Walking Dead is not quite there. That said, I don't know if it could get there. We'll have to see later on what happens with it. I think the quality of the show is good. I think that some of the characters are really likable. I think Madison, Travis, Nick, and Alicia, the immediate family, except Chris is kind of annoying. I don't really like him too much. Liza's okay. They brought a lot of characters in, and we haven't gotten to see that much zombie action, so to speak, so far. So I'm surprised they've kind of held that back and they haven't kind of wowed us right off the bat, because I think that's what you really want to do in a first season that only has 6 episodes. Is you want to really just wow your audience. Yes, you can do the kind of character tie-in and get us to care about the characters, but I think you should really go for and just do something big, like we saw in Z Nation episode 2 of season 2. Just something big, something just crazy. It doesn't have to necessarily be action-based, but just something epic in the first season, I think, a high scale to kind of get us going, since you only have 6 episodes to get us really hooked in. But we'll see what happens with the last 2 episodes of the season, episode 5, episode 6 of Fear the Walking Dead Season 1. Definitely want to touch on that, though. As I kind of expected, and a lot of us expected in the channel, I don't think it's as good as the original Walking Dead, and I'd be very surprised if there's anybody who says they like it better than The Walking Dead. I'll check the comments. If you're one that does, and you don't just want attention, write it in the comments below if you honestly think Fear the Walking Dead is better than The Walking Dead. I don't think I've seen hardly anybody. I don't think I've seen even one comment that says this show is better than The Walking Dead. No, not yet. No, I haven't. So we'll see what happens with it. We'll see where the finale goes. I'm excited for it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And again, it's your expectations. Don't expect it to be as good, I don't think. Otherwise, you'll be disappointed. First one comes from ArkhamKnight, and he says, "Am I the only one who hates Nick? He's seriously my least favorite character. Hope he dies in the finale. Overall, this episode alone sucked. Worst episode so far." So that's for episode 4. Is it the worst so far? Oh, I don't know. I like the premiere, episode 2. One of them's got to be the weakest. So episode 3 is definitely not the weakest. Episode 1 was extended, so it's got kind of an unfair advantage with that. Episode 2... was pretty good. So is it the weakest? That's a tough question. Maybe it is. The premiere though, you expect to be kind of huge, and it was a pretty good premiere, but a little light. So I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah, I hear what he's saying. I want to put this in here just because worst episode so far. It kind of gets into what we're talking about with Fear the Walking Dead clearly not being as good as the original Walking Dead, at least not for me anyway as a viewer. Next one. That said, I have enjoyed it a lot. Okay, but The Walking Dead still my favorite series ever. The Collector says, do these soldiers not have families? What keeps them from going home? For the Q&A. So that's a great question. That's something that we saw in the original Walking Dead too. Didn't Shane say that, or somebody say that in the first season, that once shit just started going nuts, everybody just basically abandoned post. But it seems to me, like if you look at the promo for episode 5, the leader, the captain, so to speak, about duty, he is a no-nonsense kind of guy. And if you go to leave, like the one guy saying he's out, he's done, right? It'll be interesting to see what they do with him, if he just kills him or what. Seems like that might be the case, because he has been able to keep everybody in line, and fear is definitely a good motivator. It's Fear the Walking Dead. Fear is a good motivator. So, if people are afraid of being killed if they try to leave, a lot of people will stay. And you might get some guys trying to sneak out at night or something, or abandon their post during the night. But then again, they may be afraid too, because the whole world has gone to shit. So you'd think most of them would want to be with their families, protecting their families, and that was the initial expectation. And we have seen a few, like that police officer in the first episode that was loading his car full of water, stuff like that. So possibly some they're saying screw it, but then some are loyal to what they're doing. And then you may have others that are not really, maybe they're single, like the one soldier there, who's now with the Salazar's daughter, so yeah, I mean, you get a mix of different ones, but I think generally what we're seeing with this group is that the leader is such a kind of strong leader, and so everybody's so fearful of him that nobody is stepping out of rank yet until this week coming up. So we'll see what happens with that, as some of the soldiers maybe start deciding that they should head out and leave their post and go to their family and try to help them if they can. Yeah, good stuff, man. So good question from the Collector. Next one's from Creative Gaming, and he says, hey Trev, I really love The Walking Dead, but I feel like it's going to die out. See what I did there? This is stupid. Good one, man. But I feel like it's going to die out in a few years. It's a great show and stuff, but people will get bored at some time. I don't think it will go on much further than season 10. I don't think, if the show ends, now this is something we talked about because I talked about long-term death predictions with Rick. The AMC has planned this show out for as long as they can go for. They have an idea of where it could be at in season 22. I saw in an article from the president, I think it was VP or president of AMC, one of the top dogs there. So AMC is prepared to go a long time with The Walking Dead. Now, a lot of people are saying in the video, it's not going to last more than season 9 or something like that. We could see the cast and the people involved want to leave. However, just like with the military leader here, if they do, they're not going to get killed if they do so, or beaten up or anything. But the show must go on. If the network decides we gotta keep this going for a long time, it's so popular, it's doing so well, and people don't leave. It's on the cover of Entertainment Weekly for season 6. It's just growing consistently year by year. This year we may see a bit of a dip from season 5, but we'll have to see. If they keep doing what they're doing now, where they keep the quality of the show up, and they stick with of course, the original comic book series, it has mapped it out way further. For the time of them to catch up could be season 10, 11, 12, 13, something like that, before they even catch up to where we're at right now in the comic book series. So I have no reason to think that it won't be easy for them to go through. They have their comic book series, which is basically like a storyboard, where they already know where they got to go. And that makes it easier. Then they can refine it. They can pick in certain parts. They can do things with different characters. They can bring in characters, and just change things up and do what they want with it and kind of have some fun with it. They have a lot of characters. You have not only Rick at the forefront, but you also have Daryl as a huge character surviving. Carol, who's huge, is on the cover of Entertainment Weekly. Michonne. You have a lot of characters that you can. Lenny James now. We'll see what they do with him. You just have a lot of people it's got a good, if people choose to leave, if Andrew Lincoln decides in season 9 or 10 he's had enough and he wants to be killed off, they could kill him off. Chandler Riggs could take over. It's the type of show where characters, we're already kind of used to people leaving. So it's pretty adaptable with regards to that. And as you've seen from shows like Game of Thrones, just because you kill off Rick Grimes or you kill off Ned Stark or whoever else is killed off, it doesn't kill the show. Even if you have Sean Bean, who's the biggest profile actor in the show has actually grown each season. Even after these huge deaths, like season 5 of Game of Thrones was the biggest season they've had. After they've had the Red Wedding, the Purple Wedding, all these different crazy events, people are just like even more wanting to go for it. And I have no reason to think season 6 of Game of Thrones won't be bigger than season 5. So The Walking Dead would have to lose a lot of steam for them to stop doing it. It would have to lose like 10 million viewers or something, like a lot. Maybe more, maybe 11, 12 million viewers if it was going to be canceled. Now, the one thing is, it is a hard show to do, but I don't see that happening at all, man. I know it might be hard for you to think because a lot of shows don't last past 6, 7, or 8 seasons, but unless something drastic happens with AMC or something of the sort, I think that they are ready to go for a long time. I think they know what they have, and that's why they've put on Fear the Walking Dead, because it's an additional, because they don't want less, they want more. That's the thing. So it's great news for us fans, and I think that that's what we're going to see long term. That's why I think we will see a season 13, 14, 15 in the original Walking Dead. It's not that hard for them to do it, considering, well, it is hard to do the zombies and everything in terms of that, but considering they have the Kirkman story compared to Fear the Walking Dead, where they have to come up with everything, it really makes their job pretty easy with regards to writing. You just take it and adapt it. That's it. It's not hard. If you have to kill off certain characters, then you do. If certain people want to leave, like Dale, then you kill them off, you let them go. We'd all hate to see it, but we're not going to quit watching the show. Even if they kill off Rick, the show will probably go on, at least for a little while, guaranteed. I just don't see it that way. I don't see it as 6, 7, 8 seasons. I highly doubt it, man. They're planning way further ahead than that, and the audience is not going to get that tired of it that quick. No way. I mean, it's getting so many ratings. Even if half the people drop off, it's still a hit show. It's still like a number top show. So it's kind of a phenomenon that what we're seeing right now. It's kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 80s for me as a kid that grew up with Turtles on TV. That's how big it is. It's crazy, man. There's Walking Dead beer coming out. What the hell? Walking Dead beer? Like, what the hell, man? Craziness. Next one's from Ray Blair. And no, I can't review the beer. I don't think we're going to get it in Canada. HBO sent me Game of Thrones beer, and I never got it because Canadian freaking customs turn it around and send it back. What the hell, man? I wanted to have some Game of Thrones beer. Oh, well, that sucks. I could have done a review with you guys and everything would have been sweet, but no. A drunk review, that would have been fun. But no, Canadian government's like, no, this is Canada. You can't do that. Get back. Get the hell out of here. Turn around. Okay. Next one's from Ray Blair. Unless I can get Walking Dead beer in Canada. If I can get my hands on it, then I could do a review for you guys. That'd be fun. Can you answer my question in your next video? How do you think this season will end, with LA getting bombed, or do you think the neighborhood people will team up and fight off the government at a hospital or something of the sort? That's what he's saying. So I'll make this the last question for this one, because I got a couple more Q&As coming for you guys and lots of questions. Keep sending me your questions. You guys are awesome. So great question from Ray. So how do I think it will end? Well, we'll do an exact predictions video after episode 5, because we have to see where it sets it up. But I think that maybe the big kind of payoff, what we're looking for in the finale, could be the civilians either running away, getting out of there, trying to escape the military post and kind of leaving, or like our main group leaving, or we could see them trying to overtake the military. That said, overtaking the military would be really, really tough, but Mr. Salazar doesn't seem that scared. So we'll have to see what happens with it, and it could be pretty interesting, but I think generally we're looking at probably them getting the hell out of there or something. But we'll talk about it more after episode 5, because we got to get to there before we can really see too much of what's going to happen past that. So let me know what you guys thought about all the questions today and the discussion. Fear the Walking Dead versus The Walking Dead. Write your comments below. Are you like me? Do you think that the Fear the Walking Dead far inferior at this point to the original, but still good, but not nearly as good as the original? What do you think about the longevity of the original Walking Dead? How many seasons it can go for? I don't see why people think it's going to be canceled soon or something. I don't know. I don't get that. But write your comments below if you do think that. I know it's hard to think of a show that could last that long, but hey man, there are shows that last a long time, and I think The Walking Dead, unless it loses a lot of steam, it's pretty much guaranteed to go on for a while, and I don't think it will. I mean, the writing, honestly, Kirkman's writing, it just gets better as it goes. Like, All Out War is better than The Governor of War, you know? It just gets better, man. More characters, bigger, more zombies. It just gets better, at least in the comic book series. So, do all that in the comments, guys. Let me hear what you guys have to say. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share. Please favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again probably tomorrow. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace.